everybody. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you a Nutcracker design. This one is not 4-dimensional. I do have a previous video of a 4D Nutcracker whose mouth opens, and I can put a link to that in the description box below. It is an older video and probably not quite up to my standards that I have today, but still the technical details are there, and if you wanted to apply some of those, like I said, technical details and the concept of how to make his mouth open, and you could do some of the more elegant details that I did in this video, you could probably make a nice little mashup of the two if you would like. So I will put that link in the video in the description box below. And otherwise, I hope you love this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye! So we're going to begin with an overlay of a cover pink acrylic. And when I was setting out to get myself prepared for this design, I looked at so many different Nutcracker photos, and every time, for some reason, I just went back to the classic image of a Nutcracker. Nothing fancy, not over the top. It just seems so classic Christmas that I just felt that that was the way I wanted to do it. And I know that there's so many different designs for Nutcrackers out there. I know if you go to Michael's stores, they have so many different cool ones. But it just didn't seem like, it just didn't feel right for me for this particular design. I just wanted to keep it really classic. So that's what we're doing. If you want more of my crazy designs, definitely check out some of my other videos from this season. But if you want just a classic, you know, simple Nutcracker, this is the video for you. So we filed this nail into shape, and then using a nude color that is different from your cover pink in the background, you're going to sculpt the little circle for his head with a flattened top. Once that's done, you're going to add the hat on top with black acrylic. It's colored. You know, your color choices can vary for sure. I know I saw a lot of them that had blue hats versus the black, but for some reason, like I said, just going with the super classic, and to me, a black hat is part of that super traditional Nutcracker image. Once you're done with this hat, then you can go through and basically decide where you want to go next. I would either go for the body or for the hair. In this particular moment, I went for hair, and I did an off-white. It's a gray that's a very, very light gray. And when I was looking at the pictures, a lot of times I either had white, gray, or black hair. So because I went with the black hat, I did not go with black hair. If you did go with a different colored hat, whether it be like a golden color, red, blue, I probably would not have done gray hair. I probably would have done black hair. I'm going to remove part of that side of the hair just so that I can do that one again. It got a little too much acrylic. And I left this little bit of the video in just because I wanted to show you guys what happens when I sculpt something. I'm like, ooh, that's not right. And I take it off. I just take it off. And it's usually something where I know it's not right almost immediately. And so if you act fast enough, you can usually just scrape it off or wipe it off depending on what you're sculpting on. So we've got his hair done then, and then we're going to go through with the blue for his body. When you're keeping things simple like this, don't sculpt them up too high. This nail is intentionally wearable and not too over the top and crazy. So I'm trying to keep all of my layers on the thin side so that it isn't too intrusive to daily life. Sometimes if you sculpt things a little too big, it makes it so putting on, say, mittens or gloves is difficult. And in my current climate, having it be difficult to put on gloves is not an option. And even for me, in my line of work, I wear gloves all the time. And so I don't want to make it any more difficult to wear gloves if hypothetically I was wearing this on myself. But that is something to really consider if you are sculpting 3D and it's on a person. If it's in a climate where they're going to have to wear mittens or gloves, it will get difficult if there's really intense 3D on top. Now, some people are like, you know what? Really intense 3D is the coolest thing I've ever had on my nails. I don't care if it's a little more difficult to put on my mittens because I don't want to wear mittens and cover these up anyway. That's not me. I am somebody that really wants mittens. So I consider all of these things when choosing my own personal nail art, is how easy it is to do my own hair, how easy it is to do my daughter's hair. Can I put on my gloves? Can I put on mittens? Am I going to stab my eye out when I'm washing my face at night? There was once where my natural nails were just getting really long, and I was finding it really hard to wash my face because I kept stabbing my own eye. I'm a klutzy person though, so that makes sense. For my Nutcracker's clothing, we're going to be adding the blue. I love that blue. That one is, I think it's called Snowflakes from Double Dip. It's in the description box below, so you might want to verify what I'm saying. Oh, it is so pretty. It is like the perfect shimmery metallic blue. It is one of the best colors I think I have from theirs. And not only is it that beautiful color, the texture of it is so easy to work with. It is just so wonderful. And actually the face color of my Nutcracker, the hair, the black, the red, all of this is double dip. The only color that isn't is the cover pink background. But the rest of this is all double dip because And I know it's been a long time since I've mentioned anything from them specifically. I always put their color names in the description box below, but their acrylics are so buttery to work with. They make sculpting so easy. And especially if you take the ease of their sculpting and you pair that with Coupa's 3D monomer, it makes sculpting 3D art incredibly easier. And the hard part is for anybody that's outside of the United States is that Double Dip does not ship outside the United States. And I know that is just difficult. And I'm sorry for anybody that's outside the United States. I know I've gotten a few people send me messages saying, I just wish they even shipped to Canada. And I feel, yeah, I do. I know there was a while where I was really feeling like I wanted to try Neo Nails products. And I feel like I no longer have that urge to try their products. But there was a point where I was like, I see these all over the place. Kirsty Meakin is amazing. I want to try the products, and I couldn't get them where I live. But there's always something. There's always products wherever you are that are good. And I know from me, for my Canadian friends, that Ugly Duckling has some really nice products. I don't necessarily know that their acrylics, especially their little 3D art acrylics, are my favorite, but they do have a lot of really nice products, especially their acrygel. They have probably the best acrygel I've ever used is Ugly Duckling. So maybe that's an option for you to consider. For me, it'd be really expensive to ship their products to the US, but I know in Canada, the shipping is a lot more reasonable. They also, though, they really vet their customers for licenses. So if you aren't licensed, that's not going to work. So we got our little Nutcracker. He's got all these metallic gold accents. He's got hair. He's got a beard. He's getting a mustache. He's got a nose. Whatever you want to sculpt for his facial features, go for it. If you wanted to just paint in the mustache, that would be pretty, reasonable, especially if your black acrylic isn't quite as controllable as mine. Black acrylic is notorious for being a pain in the butt. You may not want to try to sculpt that. The one I'm using is the best black acrylic I've ever used. However, still slightly a pain in the butt, which I just, there's so much pigment in there that it kind of has to be. And the biggest problem with it is that it stains everything around it. So you just have to be careful with making sure you don't get acrylic sludge around, like as I'm cleaning acrylic sludge up right now. And so that would definitely be something I would recommend painting if you're more a painter than a sculptor. The other thing is his eyes. You don't have to sculpt those. Super easy to paint them if you're a painter instead of a sculptor. The little gold accents, belt buckle, cuffs, shoulders, etc., that could have been done with paint instead. And I almost think even a year ago I would have. More recently, I've really gotten into where I want to sculpt as much as I possibly can and reserve the painting for just the details that really require it. And for the most part, I think that that's an easier option for me. But like I said, even a year ago, there's no way that I would have felt that way because I would have considered painting to be the easier route. We're going to add a little bit of gold across his hat, a little bit more of that gold trim. And then once you are all done and you're happy with all of your sculpting and everything seems like it is what you want it to be, you're going to go through and you are going to do some painting with acrylic paint. And because of the classic essence that I want to give my Nutcracker, I'm going to paint him in very traditional way, black outlines, defined eyebrows, little lines wherever I feel like there needs to be. I'm actually going to intensify my mustache a little bit further, a little more handlebar-like. Add some outlines around almost everything. Just really make sure that all of those details you sculpted in stand out really well. And, as you're working on him, take your time, go slowly, start in one place, work your way out. Whenever you're doing outlines, don't try to look at it as a whole. Don't think, oh my goodness, I have to outline this and this and this and this. Think, okay, I'm going to outline his eyes. Okay, that's done. Now I'm going to outline his hair. And just take it really slowly, step by step. That's another thing that I get questioned about a lot is people that just, I guess it's not a question, it's more like commiserating, is that they just really hate outlining. And, if that's the case and outlining makes you miserable, don't do it. It isn't worth it. If that's your least favorite part of a design and you don't feel like, in your personal style, it is that important, then just don't do it. Just skip it. It's all good. We're going to be finishing up all of these little outlines. See, I personally love to outline. I think it's very methodical, it's almost like meditation. It's just, you just do it and I think it looks good in the end, but that's just me. So you by no means need to follow my lead. We're going to be adding the irises in his eyes. I'm going to be adding the white stripes and the buttons down the front of his I want to say costume, and I know it's not a word. Uniform. There we go. Not costume. Filling in the belt buckle with some black. doing any of the little details that you feel are necessary to remain. You can make him as detailed or as simple as you would like. Add his pupils. And then once you're done and you're happy with everything that you have completed, you're going to apply a layer of gel sealer over the background, make that cover pink look nice and glossy. And then once that is done, I'm going to be applying some matte top coat over my little Nutcracker. And then that's it. I hope you guys love this design as much as I do. It's one of those few designs that I'm doing this year that is wearable and functional and not over the top and crazy. Sometimes we need that, don't you think? We just need something easy to wear and love. So I hope this guy is it for you, and I will see you next time. Bye.